Good morning, everybody, and happy Saturday. I thought I'd come on and try and get a little bit more of this done today. So we're gonna start where we left off. What I used is cocoa on the gingerbread, and I'm gonna continue painting this gingerbread. Also, too, I used cocoa on the hair of this elf. So let's get started and see how much we can get done today. It is an absolutely gorgeous day today. This weather we've been having has been something else. I think this is our Indian summer. I want to start off and say congratulations to West Branch on a well-played game. Wow. And Jeremiah, you are something else, I'll tell you. You did so good last night. Holy smokes. Unbelievable. You were so talented. And as for the team that you were playing, shame, shame, shame on you. I never seen a game have so many flags in all my life. And you guys conducted yourself very, very poorly. Was actually embarrassed for you. I mean, to be punching a guy that's already down just because you guys are frustrated. Unacceptable behavior. Not good. So hopefully the athletic department takes a look at that and wow. I never seen anything like it in my life. And hope I don't again because this is high school and, you know, if you can't handle losing a game, I don't know how you're going to handle life. Because life is full of losses. Things don't always go our way. Oops. I didn't want to paint that eye, but I'm going to paint it black anyhow, but didn't really want to go in there. But it's no big deal if you do. On the mouth, there's going to be hearts. So I'm not caring about going in there. You want to watch out for the engraved marks for the mouth, if you can. There'll be buttons that you glue on as well, so it's no big deal if you go in those circle areas either. I'm just trying to get a nice coat. Then I am going to come back and do a little bit of shading on here just to give it a different type of look. I know the highlighting color is marigold, and I might throw a little bit of that on there. I have used it in the past. I might just do it around the hands and the feet. But I'm not gonna go overboard on the highlighting. Definitely some shading underneath the hands I think will help make the gingerbread pop a little bit. Shading and highlighting, I think, just has to be a personal preference. You know, whether you do it or not, how you go about doing it, colors you use. And I could be using a bigger brush. Let's see here. Something a little bit bigger. In certain areas. I like to base coat with a flat brush. I just feel I get better coverage. I don't like to see brush strokes, so I feel that I kind of avoid that using a flat brush to base coat. So I think it has to be a personal preference. Ohio State is playing today. As a matter of fact, the game starts at 12. They're playing Marshall. And I believe it is at home. Can't remember. But once again, not another... I don't think that's a fair opponent. And I don't know why... college sports is like that, you know, in the beginning of the season. Now, some people may choose to highlight the cheeks of these gingerbread. I'm not going to do that, and here's the reason why. If it was a bigger piece, I probably would. But because it's so small, I'm not going to do that. Definitely have to paint the icing. Whoa. Of the gingerbread. You can use one of those paint pens if you prefer. I actually have a pretty small brush that I like, the one I'm using right now. So I'll paint those spots with this brush. I've used those paint pens. They're all right. It's okay. I think I'm just a paintbrush girl. Good morning. Thanks for stopping in. And same with this. There's going to be hearts that you glue on for the buttons on the cheeks. So I'm not going to really worry about getting paint in those areas. And I'm using a lot of water in my paint today because the humidity levels are just crazy in my room. So you always want to use a little bit of water in your paint to help it go on a little bit smoother. And sometimes you can get too much water. I do that a lot. There is no shortage of water when I'm around. And I will be on probably tomorrow to continue on. If I can get through these characters, after that it'll be pretty smooth sailing. It'll be less tedious. Started working on my listings today. So I'm hoping to have my new designs available, hopefully sometime this week. I will post an announcement on my Facebook page when they're available. I'm just going to go down so far because I know a cuff is going to glue onto that. And so it will definitely cover up that area. But I want to just make sure I have enough coverage. Go down far enough. We have had a lot of fog in the mornings. This past week was something else. Wow. Friday was a bummer. I couldn't get over how foggy it was. And then, you got the deer running around. So, that doesn't help matters either. They are starting to take out the crops around here, which is nice. It still will be a few weeks before they get to the corn, but I'll be glad when that's removed. Because the deer like to hide in the corn. If they're in the beans, at least you can see them somewhat because the beans don't get as high as the corn, but I'm telling you. And then the hunting season's right around the corner, so there will be deer running everywhere around here. Just makes for an interesting drive in the morning. I finished up my design the other day that I'll be working on after this. It will be another Christmas design. I didn't do a whole lot of Halloween this year. I don't know why. Then I'm working on creating a new interchangeable design. I think it'll be quite unique. I just got to get all the elements figured out so they work properly. And when you water down your paint the way I do to help get a better putting it on so there's not a whole lot of bumps and brush strokes. It does take extra coats. But I just like my, when it's all said and done and I'm done painting, I like a smooth looking paint surface. I don't like to see brush strokes, humps from just gobbing on the paint. That's just me. I think that's what makes my painting take a little bit longer than others. But I like that smooth finish. I just, when I was learning how to paint, the style of painting, that's something they just emphasized over and over and over again, and I just, I followed that. And you probably could use a sponge. But it would have to be a pretty small sponge because some of these areas, I mean, there's a lot of going around different things, so. Even though I'm using a brush, I'm being really careful around the edges. I'm kind of lifting my brush up as I get to the edge so I don't get paint on the sides. I'm just trying to use this smaller brush around the little detailed areas. Then I can go back with a bigger brush and be done. Hello, thanks for stopping in. We're working on a Christmas sign. Good morning. Well, good afternoon, rather. Okay. I did get a little bit of paint in the mouth area. I'm really covering up those hearts. Hello, thanks for stopping in. He's still a little bit of blotchy here in the middle and on his face. I don't like blotchy. I know you can't see it on the camera, but in person I can see it, and that's just not my style of painting. So the camera can be a little bit deceiving. Yeah, this paint is really getting thick and goopy. It will be interesting painting up here in the wintertime because heat rises. So I know this room will get pretty warm. All right, I think that's just good enough. Okay, I know the color for shading is milk chocolate. And I didn't get my colors out, which is not normal. And I'm going to use Marigold to highlight, and I just want the highlighting to be very minimal. Like I said, I'm just going to do it on the hands and the feet. And this marigold, it will fade, but I like to put it on very lightly because, you know, it is a yellow color. I just want a slight highlight there. I don't know if you can see that. It's very minimal. This brush is probably not the right brush. So try a different brush. But I just want just like the rounded part, the tips. It will give a little bit of a yellow cast. But if you don't go crazy with it, it's not too bad. And something you could probably do, you could lighten it up with maybe you could do some golden straw maybe. Maybe even some buttermilk. Because it's, like I said, it's very minimal. I don't know about that. Matter of fact, hello. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try a little camel. Just to get a little bit more of a highlight. And I'm just going to blend it really, really well because I just want it minimal. Now, I can't tell you, camel's a retired color from Decor. It's been retired now for a couple years. But it's a nice color. I use it a lot. And even that's fading. But there's a little bit of highlight there. Just the tips is, you know, just to brighten up the tips. Well, Nicole, I don't know if you mean to be sending me a message or not. I can't respond. Let's see here. Well, Well, I don't know if I screwed that up or not. Hello. So we will see. You could probably do shading on the tips of the cookies where I'm doing the highlighting. Whoa. That's way more than what I wanted. Way further in than I want. Because I mean, people do burn their cookies, I guess. So you could do that instead. You could put shading. I just decided to do a little bit of highlighting. Hello. So I am going to use milk chocolate, like I said. All I'm going to do is shade around the hands. Just cast a shadow. That's all. And I'm just using an angle brush, and the reason why I'm doing that, I usually like to shape with a flat brush. But when I'm going around curves, I just feel that I can navigate them better with an angle brush. So, but my go-to type of brush for floating is a flat. Snickers is just talking up a storm. I don't know if she's coming through, but she's down going singing snickerdoodles. Snickers, but we do call her snickerdoodles. And she will get on these kicks that she'll say the same thing over and over and over again. And today's one of those days. So that's funny. I might go ahead and paint these eyes. And then, that was way too much paint. And hopefully you're able to see. I have to just hold this in my hand and tilt it towards me so I can see better. It's just easier that way for me. She's been quiet pretty much all day. And now all of a sudden she's starting up. And I'm going to see how my water is, because I'm going to do the white parts next. But because I'm doing white, and my water's pretty dirty already, I might have to go empty it. As I learned from past experience, if you have dirty water and you try and use white paint, hello, it will go on dirty. And I'm definitely going to start on the clothing of these characters. And then while that's drying up, I can, if that's dry, I can dot my eyes. I absolutely love this paintbrush. It is perfect for these type of areas. Now you could probably use a script liner. You can use those paint pens. Whatever is going to work for you and that you feel more comfortable using and you feel more confident using. Because you got to like the brushes that you use, because that'll promote confidence. I mean, I will gravitate to certain brushes because I like them better. I like the results I get. So you find a brush that you like. You want to, kind of went outside my line. I'll have to fix that. You want to stick with it. And this is definitely a favorite of mine for these small areas. I'm not going to worry about going all the way down because I know that cuff goes up so far and is going to cover most of that icing. So, I know that I have more than it's down there way far enough. And I'll take a couple coats of this white to cover it up. To get a nice coat on there. Hello. Oops. Went over my line again. I'm rushing. And when you rush, you do sloppy work. At least I do. So after I do this white and get it the way I want it and get the eyes dotted, I will have to take a break to empty my water, change it. Oops. I'm just gonna go back and cover up where I've missed my mark. Because that way I can get my white exactly how I want it. It's kind of dull in areas, so I know I need to put more coats on to brighten it up. And something I found with those paint pens, because I have painted gingerbread before. I bought somebody else's designs and they had a gingerbread. And what I noticed too is those are very watery. I didn't really care for that. So I don't think I'm a real big paint pen person. All right. Hello. All right, let me dot these eyes. And then I'm gonna empty my water. I just like to use a stylus. And that did not work out. So, took some of my paint off, and that was probably a dumb mistake. And I always like to kind of brush off my stylus in between. That time I didn't, but I normally do. And I won't do it on this one because these are so tiny. But you really want, when you're gonna dot eyes like this, you really want fresh paint. One that hasn't been sitting there, because you know how it gets goopy. And kind of like clean off your stylus in between dotting. Because what happens is you'll start off with a big dot, and then as you continue to use it without wiping it off, your dots will get smaller and smaller. Unless that's the look that you're going for, then don't wipe it off. I mean, there's a lot of times that if I'm doing polka dots and I want different sizes, I will just keep dotting with that. Because like I said, it'll start off big, and then as you keep making your dots, the paint, starts to go away and it gets smaller and smaller. But also too with that, sometimes the paint will be irregular on the bottom of your stylus. So you might not get a dot, you might get, half a dot, just squiggly type of stuff. So keep that in mind as well. All right, I'm going to take a break, empty my water, and I will be back shortly. Okay. So I think I'll start and paint the L's. Now, like I said, on this particular piece, I made a mistake when I cut mine. And put the score marks there. But so you can tell just by lining this up, this isn't the right package that goes with this particular elf. So you'll be able to tell. But that was a mistake, so I have corrected the file since then. But I'm gonna paint the clothing and the hat green. I need to paint her hair too. I didn't think about that. So I'm going to use the Hauser medium green. I'm not sure what I'm going to do the packages with, what color. I'm kind of thinking red and stick with that gold again. I'm just going to go ahead and use a sponge. I'll just dig out my score marks. And what I do is I just put a little bit of paint on and then I tap it off on my plate. And I'm just tapping lightly. And I'm just gonna go ahead and cover up everything. While I was downstairs emptying my water, I checked on the Ohio State game. And Marshall was giving Ohio State a game. Kind of surprised. I mean, Ohio State is up, but only up by a touchdown. But I do root for Marshall. If you ever seen that movie, what a tragedy that was. That was, wow. And that's just not too far from me. Marshall University is not too far from where I live. I know it does take a couple coats of this green. I'm only going to go up so far, and then I'll just use my brush. It is just so nice out. My sunroom is 80 degrees. So it's a warm one here today. Beautiful football weather. We're not going to have many more days like this. I'm gonna trim the sponge off. It's got like a little groove line, and it's leaving little marks. I am going to have a hat band that you glue on. So I just want to get it down far enough. There'll be a jingle bell that you glue on. I'm going to do that in silver. Almost got on the face there for a second. I don't even know why I'm painting that now that I think about it, because that little collar is going to go on there. And this is not a very good paintbrush for base coating. You gotta have a brush that has thicker bristles. You really do. I feel that I have better coverage and success when my brushes have thicker bristles. I really shouldn't be caring about what kind of coverage I get right there, because the package is going to be there. I'm just so used to making sure I have good coverage. Just want to make sure I'm down far enough. And I am getting my score lines, but I'll dig them out. And the only reason why those score lines are there is to help with highlighting and shading for dimension. Because I will be highlighting and shading these to give that illusion of 3D, of layers. I should probably get that collar out. See where we are. Needs a little more coverage up in here. Alexa, what's the score of the Ohio State football game?
Right now, third-ranked Ohio State is beating Marshall 21-7 with 6:38 left in the second quarter.
Wow. Okay. I'm getting something right there, and I don't know what it is. I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna sand it, I think, lightly. I just don't know what that is. It's kind of weird. Much better. All right. I think while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and paint her hair. Hello. Like I said, I'm going to make her a blonde. I'm going to start off with the golden straw. Hopefully that's dark enough. If not, I'll switch to marigold just to make it a little bit brighter yellow. But I think the golden straw is will probably be dark enough. We will see. That's probably too big of a brush. Yeah. Hello. And also too with her hair, it also goes down below her ears and is on her shoulders. So don't forget to paint down in there. Now the color is going to cover up some, like that last curl, but not all of it. Then we have the hat band, so that'll cover up a lot of it. This is a good color for her hair. And you only need to go up so far. And like I said, with the boy elf's hair, I am not going to highlight or shade or anything like that because the area is just, once you put the band on, it's going to be very minimal. So there's just no point. Like I said, you can over highlight and shade too much. But I do want to make sure I'm getting that up there enough. So I'll have to check her hat band. But I know when I designed this file, I made those lines at the top of the hair up into the hat band. So I know that I'm probably, whoa, got more than enough. If I do anything, I might shade under the face where the hairline is on the bottom here. That might be all I do. And it would just be for her. Because I actually think it covers up that last one, but I'm gonna make sure I have enough coverage on it just to be on the safe side. Where's her hat band? Yeah, I figured I'd had plenty. I'll touch up right in there a little bit. And probably, I always like to, I like to use honey brown to shade. So the golden straws, I'll probably just use honey brown. I might just use some of that cocoa if it's not all dried up. Because it's not going to take much. I'm just going to do a very, very thin line. Alright. Like I said, I'll just use the cocoa since I have it out. it's on the same lines. I just want it light anyhow. Just casting a little bit of a shadow, not much. I don't even know if you can really see it. Yeah, this paint is really drying fast today and just becoming difficult to work with. All right, well, that's drying. Let's try and do a little highlighting. And I just know from past experience, this light Hauser green, it takes a few coats, because it does fade. And I'll do like more emphasis on the curvy parts of this hat. So I'll put more highlighting once this dries. Too much water, not enough paint. Like I said, I wanted more highlighting on those humps. So I'm just kind of like walking out the float, just making it wider in those areas. And I'll do that around these elbows and so forth. I find when I highlight and shade, I will walk the floats around curves just to add extra darkness or lightness. That's just how I like to do it. Not saying that's the right way or it's the wrong way. It has to be your personal preference, how you choose to do things, what you like, you know, what appeals to you. I know what kind of look I'm after when it's all said and done. But the look I like, people might not like it. And then I'll go and highlight this right in here too as well. But I'm gonna wait for that to dry. I need to highlight right in here. I'm gonna highlight down the right side of this line. I do have to highlight on top of the sleeve as well. I always gotta wait for my areas to dry. Because if not, you know, your brush is wet, it has water on it. You'll take off what you just did if your brush swipes over that area. So you always want to try and allow your coats of paint to dry before you add another coat. I want the sleeves just a little bit more brighter, especially at the elbows. I just want extra light um, like a light. That might be a little bit brighter than what I wanted. A little bit too bold of a line for me. That's a little bit better. I'm really over highlighting today. More so than what I normally do. I don't know what's going on. And I'm taking these down further than really what I need to. Because whoops, went over my line. I know the package is going to cover it up. I just want a little bit more on this one elbow. That's a little bit more than what I wanted. Hopefully that calms down. And I'm running out of paint and water. You can tell that because your bristles will split, 1, and 2, your paint will start dragging. I went back over that area again. Oh well. No. I'm getting hairs and fuzzies on my piece. I don't know where it's coming from. Alexa, what's the score of the Ohio State game?
At the moment, third-ranked Ohio State is beating Marshall 28-14 at halftime. Did that
Wow.
answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Thanks for your feedback.
Wow. High scoring game. I'm really going to emphasize this top of this. All right. Okay, I think that's pretty good on the highlighting. Outside of his sleeves could use a little bit more lightness. I think he's about good. I mean, I need to do above, the sleeve right there, but I think that's probably, well, that was a lot more than what I wanted, but oh well. All right. Maybe down his center, just a little bit brighter. I know I'm extending that further than what I need to. All right, we'll let that dry. And my water is a mess again. And I'm going to shade these. And so I'm going to take a little break again, shade these. And come back. I think what I'm going to do is just get the elves done today, and that's probably as far as it's going to go. So I will be back. Okay. Excuse me. All right, I'm just gonna do some shading, and I think I'm gonna call it quits for today. We got people coming over. And that's what the weekends are for. So, I'm going to use the Hauser Dark Green. And I'm really going to blend this and water it down because this can be a pretty dark color. Get away from you. And I don't want that. Ended up getting a harsh line and I don't want that either. Hello. Well, darn. So that was a little bit older than what I wanted. Because I don't like the harsh lines, but I'll go over it. I ordered some brushes and they should be here Wednesday. So, looking forward to receiving my brushes. Because you gotta have good brushes. That is important. Hello. And then what I'll do is after I chip here, I get a dry brush up around here just to get a shadow. And then underneath the collar as well. But you gotta let that dry. Yeah, I'm getting harsh lines. Oh well. A lot harsher than what I like. I don't think there's anything I can do about this particular side. I'm just gonna be stuck with a harsh line. I mean, Oh boy. Well, it is what it is. Hello. Yeah, my floating is not up to par today. I don't know if it has anything to do with how hot it is in my room right now. But yeah, I am not floating very good. Not at all. And you'll have days like that. And today the struggle is real. Let's just see. Better. Not great, but better. I actually really don't particularly care for this color. I don't know what it is. I just don't care for it. All right. Let's see. Is that dark enough? You know what? I'm going to darken it up a little bit more. Oh, I darkened it up all right. Oh well. Oh well. Stuck with it now. Let me see about getting a little bit of a line here so I can just try and get a little shadow going. Try and do a little dry brushing here. I don't want it too dark. I want it pretty faint. Just want to create a little bit of a shadow. This paint is just drying way too fast today. Hard to work with. I could have floated, but I just kind of like a faint shadow. So that's why I'm dry brushing. I just prefer to dry brush. I'm going to put my little cheater lines. And I just want this to be very minimal, just to cast a little light shadow. Nothing major. And when you're doing this, you want to press lightly. You don't want, you want to make sure you remove enough paint, but also too, you want to press lightly. I hope that's not going to show up. Little spot, I'll have to cover it. Nope, it's good. Good enough. good enough. Get my little cheater lines again. And I always start like in an area that I really don't care if there's shading or not, just in case I have too much excess paint on my brush. So there's a little tip for you if you're doing this and you're a little unsure. Always start in an area where you don't care where there's a whole lot of paint. That way if you didn't get enough of the paint off, it's in an area you're not going to see. That's pretty good. Could use a little bit more right in here. Darken hers up just a titch, and I'm gonna call it good. And I'm rinsing out my brush that way I don't fuss. So that's what I do. I fuss and then I screw it up. You want to make sure that you clean out your brush really, really good after dry brushing. And I'm sorry, I know I'm shaking the camera. Okay. Actually need to do brush cleaner with this, because I'll tell you, you want to clean your brushes, because if you don't, you'll just end up with a mess. So, and I know from past experience, I didn't clean my brush good enough, and I ended up it transferred when I tried to scrub it. Dry brush, so. And with these darker paints, you want to do the best you can cleaning them. And it's always best to clean your brushes right away. Alright. I know I got some new dry brushes coming, so hopefully, I mean, these are cheap quality, but I do like them. I like that rounded, and I like that better than a flat end, to be honest with you. So, all right. Let's see if I can touch that up just a titch. Good enough. All right. What I know is these bands are going to be red. The hat bands, the cuffs, the collars. And I did not redo my sticky board. So I don't know how well these are going to stick. Hello. So I'm going to paint these with Country Red. And then I'm going to probably end it for right now. Because like I said, I have company coming over and, well, it is what it is. Hello. So I'm just going to use Country Red, use my makeup sponge. Now, I used this earlier. So instead of wasting the sponge, all you have to do is take your scissors and just cut the end of it off and then throw it away. I mean, you can use these sponges, I mean, a multitude of times. So that's all you have to do. And even if I was, you know, to take a break, this paint would dry on this sponge, it would not work. You have to get rid of that dry paint. You gotta get a fresh surface for your sponges. So it's just not only when you change colors, but if you let the paint dry on there, you gotta do that. Yeah, I need to redo my sticky board. So like I said, I'm just using Country Red. You are gonna have to go over it a couple times. Red is a tough paint to get really great coverage with. And I'm so undecided as to what color I'm going to paint the packages. I'm kind of thinking red. I'm thinking, I don't know. I'll have to see because these cuffs on the sleeves are red, so it might get lost. I don't know yet. I kind of want to stick with green, red, white, yellow. Those are the colors I want to stick with. I don't know yet. I won't paint those packages today. Or at least at the setting. I might come back on later on today. Have to see. Try not to get the paint down on the sides. If you do, you can always wipe it off with a Clorox wipe. You just kind of want to do it right away. I think it's easier. I mean, you can still do it if it dries, but I think it's easier to wipe it off when the paint is fresh. But if you go easy on the edges, chances are you're not going to get it along the sides. And then also too, I kind of tilt my sponge a little bit to prevent that as well. All right. Let's just kind of see where we're at here. And I will go back and highlight these as well because I want a little brightness. This is what we're looking at. And then, like I said, they're going to have packages. Whoop. This is the girls. And how you can tell is because you line up these bottom things right here. And plus, too, they're holding them. Their hands are in different positions. It might not look like it, but it is. These bands, though, are pretty much the same for both character. So you don't have to worry about mixing that up, and I'm not going to sit here and fuss with this. But I'm going to think about what color I want these packages. But this is where we're at so far. And I do have to call it a day for now. But these are very festive. I think they're cute. And I can't wait to put the rest of this together. So I am going to ponder on those gifts. I think maybe red might be too much. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. If you have an opinion of what color the packages should be, leave a comment. So, to the person that showed up and is still here, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate you stopping in and watching. I may be back on later on today. I'm not for sure. if you are set up for notifications, you'll receive one. So until then, take care. Bye bye.